before this video starts, I want to thank Kuroblade for the new intro, and you can check all his socials down in the description, so please follow him. But now let's get into it. Hello everybody, this is Rose Gold, and today we're gonna get into part 7 of What If Naruto Was a Hyuga. So I hope you all enjoy it, but now let's get straight into it. Also, if you want to see a part 8, I'd like to see 4 likes on this video, and please just watch it through, I guess. It won't take too much of your time. Anyways. Naruto was pretty injured after the fight, so he hoped they would allow him to rest for a while until giving him new missions. However, there was a more pressing matter. When Naruto came back to the village carrying Sasuke, he learned of the unfortunate passing, and so did Sasuke, of the third Hokage. Both their eyes widened in horror and shock, however Sasuke quickly hid, but Naruto's teeth were bared. Why must everything be taken from him? Naruto didn't cry, but he had an empty expression, and let Sasuke stand for himself quickly after realizing the latter had finally woken up and headed back to his shabby apartment. Before he knew it, 2 days had passed, and he was taken out of his apartment for the first time in those 2 days, after he had put on the appropriate clothing and he walked to the Hokage funeral. He was in the front row, but another boy was standing next to him. He was shorter than Naruto by a good amount, and a good amount younger, and he had brown hair. It was the third Hokage's grandson, so Naruto patted him on the shoulder, seeing the boy crying. The younger boy, known as Konohamaru, looked around at him and was a bit shocked to see Naruto, as he was, of course, the intelligent jerky. However, he just smiled weakly at him, then went back to his sorrow. After a while of standing there, a few sobs interrupting the silence, the crowd all walked up in a line, placing a white rose in honor of the man who had died to save them. Konohamaru, after the ceremony, walked up to Naruto and bowed to him, thanking him for the attempt to comfort, and asked, Um, could you maybe train me sometime? At this, Naruto smiled, which he hadn't done for 2 days now, and replied with, Sure, I'll get to try and teach you a bit, sure. Which meant the younger of the two delayed it. They instantly made a plan for when they were going to train. It had been a week since that promise, and Konohamaru was learning steadily, trying to master the sexy jutsu, where he was failing horribly, but Naruto couldn't help him much longer as day knocking could be heard on Naruto's front door. Thinking it was Konohamaru again, Naruto jumped up and instantly answered the door, and asked, Hey, Konohamaru, how's your training go? However, instead of the short brown-haired Konohamaru, there stood Jiraiya, who beamed at the student. Naruto, what was that about? Anyways, we have a mission to fulfill. Naruto was a bit stunned. He'd never gone on a mission with Jiraiya, but he hurriedly accepted and making a shadow clone to inform Konohamaru that he would be informed of his absence, but to still continue training. Then, after some packing, left for his adventure with Jiraiya. On the way, Jiraiya told Naruto what they were going to be doing in this, which made him even more delighted. They were going to try and find the legendary Tsunade, who was also one of the 3 Sannin of the Leaf. However, she hadn't been seen in the Leaf Village for a while now. And we skip ahead a day or so. They had finally arrived in a town they wanted to arrive at, and after a girl had come strutting up to him, Jiraiya gave Naruto the key to their hotel and confiscated his wallet, so he wouldn't go around spending it all. However, that wasn't the only thing. On the trip here, he had taught Naruto the first step to mastering the Rasengan, which was a jutsu created by the fourth. However, Naruto was struggling with the second step now, so he told Naruto to try and get that to work. Naruto thought nothing of it at first, only being a bit annoyed that Jiraiya kept on only going for the ladies, but that was fine with him, as long as Jiraiya didn't do anything brash, so Naruto just casually went to his hotel room. He had nothing else to do, so Naruto crossed his fingers in a very familiar sign, and shadow clones appeared all around him. And he handed out the cards to every single one of them, and they started to play. And after a few rounds of this, there was a loud knock on the door. Naruto, thinking was Jiraiya, quickly stood up, his clones behind him, as he wanted to play another round with them, as he was getting a bit frustrated that he didn't have a 100% win rate and was actually losing against himself. But maybe he could play with Jiraiya. As the door creaked open, in front of him stood 2 men clad in black cloaks with red clouds on them. Their aura was terrifying. Naruto instantly shut the door, sweat from his face. However, the two tall men kept on knocking until the door burst open. In front of the brown haired boy stood a man, in the cloak described before, with black hair that looked similar to Sasuke just without the back end. Next to him was a shark man? The man had bluish skin and razor sharp teeth, so he did look scarily like a shark, but not just that was scary. The two had the look in their eyes that showed they meant business. However, Naruto didn't have to deal with this alone, for now. And suddenly, Sasuke popped up in the hallway, a frustrated and angry look on his face, looking at Itachi. Itachi! The hallway was lit up by a light blue light, which came from Sasuke's hand where Chidori was forming, and suddenly Sasuke ran toward Itachi. However, he got grabbed by the neck and slammed into the wall, knocking him out almost instantly, but not before Itachi could whisper, "Your hate is not strong enough," to him, making his eyes widen one last time before truly passing out. The brown haired boy, seeing this, got absolutely furious, and orange chakra started to envelop the boy, making Itachi give him his full interest. However, before he could make a move, Jiraiya came into the hallway as he realized the girl who had come up to him before was actually in a genjutsu, which made it from Itachi Uchiha, making him a bit angry, also sad, so he started to fight. Releasing his toad mouth jutsu, Itachi quickly escaped with the shark man, known as Kisame, making Jiraiya and Naruto relieved. However, there was a tiny problem, as Jiraiya threw him his wallet, only for Naruto to find it completely empty. He started to berate Jiraiya, who looked pretty guilty. However, he told him, "I'll pay it back someday." Naruto took this as, "I'm not going to pay it back, but please forgive me," making him sigh, laugh, then tell Jiraiya what had happened to Sasuke. The white-haired man listened and nodded, getting a medical ninja who took the boy back to the Konoha, whilst Naruto and Jiraiya were still on their journey. The day after this all had happened, they arrived in another town. Naruto had mastered the second step along the way and had been training vigorously with his shadow clones, almost getting it a few times. However, Jiraiya didn't give him any advice, as he wanted Naruto to figure it out all himself, but he was pretty proud. Naruto was mastering it insanely quickly. However, Jiraiya wouldn't have that much time to be prideful, as, first of all, Naruto was not doing very well in the third step, and second of all, when they entered a bar to get some refreshments, and Jiraiya laid his eyes upon a woman. She had a rather large chest, blonde hair, and a very familiar looking mark on her forehead. The man walked up to her, Naruto in tow, and sat down. "How's it going to Tsunade?" The latter replied with, I'm fine." Then Jiraiya went off explaining everything that had happened, finishing it all with, "So now the Leaf wants you as the fifth Hokage," to which the obviously drunk Tsunade replied with, "Who would like a job like that?" All fools to me. She was almost cut off by Naruto, who jumped on the table. "How dare you say something like that?" "Ho ho, getting cocky, are we? How about we deal with this outside?" "You're on," said Naruto. Now I'm going to be ending this part off right here, so I hope you all enjoyed and watched to this point. This was Rio's Gold, and I am out.